Have you seen gender homogenization in your community? I have in mine, and I feel that it is becoming more and more commonplace. For example, when my girls were in dance and there were many boys who were put into the girls' classes, even though there were classes specifically set up for the boys. These mothers reveled in the fact that their boys were defying all stereotypes. One even stated that her proudest moment in life was when her little boy told her he wanted to grow up to be a princess. Many years ago, this statement would have caused shock and maybe even disgust. But the world is a very different place, and parents and teachers alike are working towards gender homogenization of children. We find another example of this at autostraddle.com. We find the story of Storm. This child's parents have chosen to raise Storm without telling the world his or her gender for as long as possible. They are encouraging the child to explore both genders and provide clothing and toys for both. They do this so Storm will not conform to what they call social constructionism. In other words, they want their child to break past the barriers of what society and culture beliefs have made gender into. Is this true though? Is gender just a cultural belief? I believe it is not. And I will discuss with you today how we are causing more harm than good in trying to convince ourselves that it is. The gender homogenization of children is harmful in many ways, but I would like to discuss three of them. First, it is causing confusion rather than unity. Second, it is threatening the family. And third, it is threatening our freedom of religion and speech. Many years ago, educators wanted to make things more equal for boys and girls. There were good intentions. They wanted to give girls more opportunities in math and science and give boys opportunities to explore other fields as well. This is a wonderful idea, but we cannot deny the differences between girls and boys because they are there from the moment we are born. Dr. Leonard Sachs, in an interview with Al Roker on the Today Show, said, and I quote, "These differences are hardwired in us from the moment of birth," end quote. Society is ignoring these differences he speaks of, and trying to homogenize the gender starts at an early age and seems very innocent. I used to work for Head Start, and the policy is to use the word friends instead of boys and girls. They don't want the children to feel there is a difference, and gender-specific toys and play clothes have also been removed from the classrooms. Trying to make them the same from an early age has caused a confusion. New genders are surfacing, and what and who you are is no longer based on biology, but feelings. This is especially prominent at the university level. In the article, growing number of universities embrace gender-neutral pronouns ze, hers, and theirs. We can see the impact that this has had on society. They use 4 separate pronouns, which are ze, e, her, and they. These come in different forms, and they now have a chart so people aren't confused. But this chart is so confusing. Even Facebook has followed suit and has 50 pronoun options to choose from for choosing one's gender. As a society, we are no longer male and female, but there is a plethora of options to choose from. This brings me to my second point. This is destroying the family. As confusion sets in and gender is no longer based on biology, the idea that men and women both have distinct roles in society is becoming obsolete. There are those who would tell you that a children doesn't specifically need a mother and a father, but one parent or any combination is acceptable because we are all the same. They are denying the unity that one feels by being in a family with a mother, father, and children. The connection that is present is irreplaceable, and with it builds strong family units, which in turn builds safer and more stable communities. If we lose this foundation, our society will crumble and will no longer be great and provide the freedoms we enjoy. In my third point, I would like to discuss these very freedoms and how this homogenization of gender is destroying them. Throughout the country, many states have adopted sexual orientation and gender identity laws. In an article written by Ryan T. Anderson at heritage.org, he explains why these laws are not only unnecessary, but will infringe upon individual freedom of speech and religion. He states that these laws are a problem because they are subjective, vague, and lack a clear definition on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity mean and what conduct can and cannot be penalized. In the Daily Signal, we find an article that explains these laws in New York. Business and landlords can be fined up to $250,000 for intentionally failing to use one's preferred pronoun, refusing individuals to use single-sex facilities of their choice, enforcing dress codes based on sex, and failing to provide health benefits that cover gender-affirming care. Because these laws are based on feelings, one could easily offend another without intention and be taken to court and fined, which could cause loss of business, asset, and reputation. As you have listened, I hope you're asking yourself what you can do. The most important place is to start in your home. Teach your children to embrace the differences between men and women and to understand their vital role in their home. Help them understand that we are equal, but have a uniqueness because we each bring something special. Next, get involved in the schools. Especially know the curriculum being taught to your children. This will help you get it more support if it is appropriate and fight it if it is not. If you know what is being taught, also correct anything that may not coincide with your values. Last of all, get involved in local and national politics. This can be as simple as writing letters to local and national government officials, asking them to not support laws that will take away our freedom or cause more confusion. As we do this, we will build a society that celebrates what makes men and women different. We will see less gender confusion, stronger families, and more freedom. So get out there and make it happen.